Alright, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make your own JD Pictos in the style of Just Dance. So first you want to get the model, which is found in JD Helper, but to change the color of your Picto, you need to go ahead and choose the color you want and shift the hue of the original green to the color you want and rename it to Head Green 2020. This is because it stretches out to cover the whole body, so yes, that's how you do that. Now, your next step is to obviously open up the file that's named model.blend, because that's how you get into the model right there. But I already have it open, so we don't need to do that. Now, I'm going to go over some things that you shouldn't really mess with by its own. The first one is the shoulders. You can tell what each thing is by going under the user perspective on the top left and read that. But I don't recommend messing with these tweaks also, because if you move them by themselves, they make your pictogram look very weird and non-human sometimes. So yeah. Another thing that you shouldn't really mess with are the thighs, which are right here. They look very odd whenever you mess with them. Like, for example, move them, rotate them, because it makes them look like they have a broken limb. And yeah, you can mess with anything else. Now, if you don't use Blender, which most of y'all probably don't, it looks very confusing to learn how to use because of all this stuff on the sides. The truth is we don't need any of that. All we need is the move tool and the rotate tool where my cursor is. There are specific things that you can't use with the move tool or the rotate tool for certain things. Like, for example, one thing that you should use like the move tool only on are the feet on the bottom. Right there, I selected that. No, wait, that's a toe. I selected that. You see, you can move them left to, like, spread their legs a bit. If there's, like, a move where you, like, make them wider. And you can also move them up if you want their leg to bend like this. I find it very practical. I don't recommend moving them down because then it stretches out their leg. And you don't want that if you want it to look like a real Just Dance Picto. You can also use the move tool on the hips. You don't want to use this one too much, but you definitely don't want to move it up or down. It makes it look very weird. But you don't move it to the left that much. If you want to undo something, by the way, you can use Control-Z. Now, you can also use the move tool on the head if you want to make it move to the left or to the right. But I prefer using it more as with the rotate tool. And then you have the root right here. The root is if you want to move something, like if there's a jumping move, you can move it up to make it look like it's a jump and then add the jumping thing. If there's a move where you walk left, you can move left or right if you need to walk right. But yeah. So then after this, stuff that you really only use for the rotate tool, that is like, for example, the head. You can rotate the head if you need to look up or to the side. Like that's looking to the side. And you can also use it for the arms. Now, this is very, careful. Whenever you, try and move the arms, make sure that you do not accidentally, turn between the tweaks. Because the tweaks would look very weird and messed up whenever you try to rotate those. But yeah, for example, you can also use this to move the hand. I'm just doing this as an example, so it's not going to look, good. But you could really make them look really legit. But this one looks a bit off. But it's just because of the way how I'm moving everything. This just to show stuff. Like, for example, yeah, I'm going to move, the hips a bit. Right there. But I don't really like that. Now, the torso is where magic happens. You can, make it jump to the left. But this is really good for moves that, require turning around. Where you, do a turnaround from the back. Mine just looks a bit weird when you turn around because of the way how they have the left leg. But if you were to do it with, the normal T-posing Picto, it would just simply cross their legs by themselves. And, yeah, you can go ahead, do whatever you want with the Picto. Whenever you're done, you can click the render on the top left, right here. Click render image, and then there is your finished Just Dance Picto. Well, not finished yet. Because with arrows, which I prefer to edit them in through image editing softwares, you can edit them in by yourself, and whenever you're done, you have your Picto. These Pictos will always be in 512 by 512 pixels, And then after that, you can have something like, let me find it, it's a bit up, like this. Ignore this. This is what happens whenever you mess up a bit, but that's fine. But this is what I made, you know? It doesn't look good because I wasn't really trying, but it does indeed look a bit official. And yeah, that's simply how you just make your own Just Dance Pictos. If you have any questions, I guess let me know. And yeah, I'll help you out. Maybe.